Well, Gary is still hot on the trail of who is Barbara Morgan. Delilah hires a guardian angel to get Regina's restaurant open, and we get a really touching episode from Miss Regina. It's episode 14 of A Million Little Things. Guys, let's chat about it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Totally blanked on restaurant. On that eating establishment. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are back to talk about A Million Little Things. Cannot believe we're on episode 14.
I know.
Holy mackerel. How did that even happen?
So fast.
Nuts. I'm Laura L. Thomas. You guys, I've got a wonderful panel of ladies joining me tonight, including Miss Takira, who's back.
She's back.
Yay.
Hi guys, Takira here. Hey guys, it's Alexandria.
And hi, I'm Yasmine Tanres.
Oh, the full ladies of my heart. I love it.
Stop. Don't make me cry right enough.
Crying so much tonight already.
Already. Well, let's talk about it. Let's jump right in. I mean, this episode was a tough one. Was a really heavy one, but I think we finally got to peel back the layers of Regina a little bit. I think she finally had her day in more ways than one. What did you think of the episode, Takira?
Yeah, I love that she had her moment to shine. I love her backstory. You know me, like my mind was going, like I'm always predicting like 5 seconds into the episode what's going to happen. So I love that she had her moment. It brought a lot of questions too, like throughout, but overall I really love the episode. I like the backstory, and I love that Gary and they're finding the clues to come figure out who Barbara Morgan is, since I was wrong the first time around.
I don't know. I think we've all been wrong about who Barbara Morgan is more than once.
I still might be in the running though. Because I was saying she was like a side chick of John. But we don't know that, do we? No, maybe not.
I don't know yet.
We don't know.
Well, and we can save this for predictions at the end, so make sure you stick around, because we're going to do predictions at the very end, as well as our special segment. But did you guys notice that when, as they were kind of going out on the show tonight, we watched with the captions on, and the name of the kid who shouts at her was Patrick.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, is this like John's kid, or is this? I don't know.
I
don't know.
Something.
There's something going on there. So you might be right.
Maybe. I don't know. But overall, I love this episode only because, well, love-hate relationship, because Regina's literally my favorite character this whole time. And honestly, I felt her, because her just having these, she's usually uppity and she's cheerful and she's supportive of like Rome and everybody, but like to see, like I said, the layers peeled back and her being emotional, I'm like, no, not my baby. No, I don't want to see you cry. I don't want to see you hurt. Yeah. And I'm annoyed because I still don't know who Barbara Morgan is, and I have accepted the fact that I will not know until the season finale, so I'm just gonna nip it in the butt. I know, but I just want to know. I've been saying it every day.
I don't think we're going to find out in this season. No way.
Don't tell me that.
Don't break my heart like that.
Please don't do this.
I mean, like everyone has said, I feel this episode has been very intense, and finally we got to see Regina, her backstory much more, including like the relationship of her mother, as well as her father running away when she was 8 years old. I feel like we really got to know more about them. So I'm like dying to know more about Rome next time. We got a little sneak peek there. But then also finally Delilah kind of overcoming a hurdle by the fact of her taking the ring off. And I love how like Eddie and Gary were having this little like investigation duo.
That's so cute. It's so funny.
Yes, please get on it.
It was pretty cute.
Yeah, speaking of, let's talk about Eddie and Gary. So Eddie hires a private investigator who he ends up making out with on his couch.
Of course.
I mean, she was cute.
She is cute.
But why do you think Gary is so... Well, I guess he kind of told us, but why was Gary hot on the trail to get Eddie some action?
To get him laid?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's been how long since John's
passing?
But we didn't even know that he had... Well, yeah, actually, we did kind of see that he hasn't really had any sex since
I mean,
he's handling it pretty well.
Yeah, I didn't see any like anger of Eddie. You know how when to the point,
That's
how
what I
men
was
get when
thinking
they're a
as
little backed up. But sorry, whatever.
No,
sorry,
man,
let's keep it G.
whatever.
Anyway, I didn't see any like stressors or signs that Gary would like normally would see if that he lacking in that category.
I think Delilah brought it at best that he's trying to fix everything and trying to control everything. So I honestly think that he's just looking at each one of his friends and thinking, okay, what's your problem? All right, let's fix your problem. So he's in like fix it mode, and I think that's why he was so kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like taken back by Andrew because he's Delilah's fixer right now. And so he was like, oh, heck no, who's stepping on my territory? Like, I'm the fixer of this relationship, like of this family, this whole thing we got going on.
Ooh,
so
that's an interesting point.
I think Eddie doesn't really have any problems right now other than, the divorce. If it happens, it happens. But I think that it's like a mutual thing. So the only thing that he has going, the only issue is just he's not getting any. So Gary has to fix it. He's the fixer right now.
I like it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to jump off of that just because I feel like that's interesting since I'm kind of questioning as to how Gary was before John's passing. I almost feel like he's trying to take over like John's position. Yeah, because before it seemed like from what we caught a glimpse of John having a go at Gary, of him not taking control of his life and like being with proper women or treating them right. And now he's almost like doing the opposite of what he used to be. So that's like you just gave me that idea or just that
I love
attention
Gary.
of it.
Or is it because, like how he mentioned before, it's control. Like he can kind of help everybody else's life of his friends, but like when it comes to Maggie, he has no control over it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of before he said it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
And I
That does
really,
make sense.
I really love that he took the ownership of that tonight and finally admitted, that was a huge fear of his. I mean, he's micromanaging Delilah with Andrew. He's micromanaging Eddie and his sex life. And it all really boils down to really, I just can't lose Maggie. And so it just,
my heart.
I know, it breaks my heart. I've been rooting for their relationship from the beginning.
know.
I know you have too.
Yes.
So,
I love Gary.
do you guys? Let me just ask you a question about Eddie. Jumping back to him, kind of hooking up with this private investigator, and then kind of backing things off and giving the reason being my life is very confusing right now. Are we surprised? Are we surprised at all that he has stopped? That he and Delilah have stopped?
Is he surprised?
I'm not
No,
surprised.
are
at
we
all.
as an audience? Are we as audience members surprised that they've sort of stopped their relationship?
I love that you bring that up because I feel like we haven't been reminded. Like, oh yeah, this was a thing, and they were so in love, and
Because that's my thing. Is I'm like
they were
like really in love and like ready to like blow up their lives for each other. Really.
divorced. Both of them divorced their spouses and be together.
So I'm just wondering if what the writer's intention is.
I feel like it's pending. ... That's what I think about them, both of them too. Just the word pending.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really think it's gonna happen.
I don't think so either, especially since tonight's episode's revealed two different paths.
Yeah, but just because they go like this doesn't mean they can't come back together again later.
Because of the children.
Because I think
have
the only reason why it's less complicated to act like this. I think it's an act and a front because they didn't want anybody
they were
to know.
acting like that when they were sneaking around having the affair.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They don't want to
and that's
do it anymore though, because they also it's exhausting. So I feel like in this moment right now, which I'm still upset about, that like the world doesn't know. Well, the friends don't know that that's really Eddie's baby. They're just kind of it just happened like it's happening like this.
It's almost like out of sight, out of mind too, because they're both going their own way. And so on one end, I'm like, okay, maybe they were just lusting, they wanted something else, and now that neither one of them really have their spouses, they're like, okay, I can take a step back and realize what I want for myself. Definitely not like condoning that behavior whatsoever. But I think maybe it was they both found comfort in whatever. And now that they're like focusing on one another, like she wants to be happy for herself, he wants to be happy for his. Maybe it's just out of sight, out of mind.
It could be that too. I agree.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because he's been on tour. I don't know, we'll see. He's back, and that little moment that they had when he saw Delilah for the first time in like forever, and she's like super preggo,
And she's got her bump out.
it's like bump all the way.
Bumping it out.
I wonder how you felt about that. He was like, "Oh crap! Like this is real. Like you're pregnant."
And then who mentioned twins? And he was just like, oh.
By the
Like,
way,
Gary.
just the fact
Gary
that
did.
Gary even said that, like,
It'll happen.
It made my mom. My mom meter just like shoot through the roof because I was just like, "What? You never say that to a pregnant woman. You never ask her if she's carrying twins." I'm like,
I thought it would be a good thing, no? Oh, okay, sorry. I'm not a mother yet, guys, so I wouldn't know. I thought it would be a good thing.
I will
I thought the bigger the better as well, honestly.
It could be boy, girl, one and done for me. I don't know.
I'm just saying, hey, if you are having twins, that's great. That's great news. But you don't like.
Oh, you're saying
Don't
because
walk
of
up
size.
to a
I get
pregnant
it.
woman and be like, "Boy, are there two in there?"
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
But
It would
you're
be
about
Gary.
to pop. Like I'm 3 months.
Right?
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, that is a big mistake.
Anyway, for more on that, you can see my Instagram because I kind of go on rants on that all the time. But
Mommy rants.
before we talk a little bit more about Delilah, I think Miss Tay has a message for us that she'd like to share.
While I'm over here damaging things. Yes, I do. Before we move on to our next topic, guys, I just want to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk and for us to help continue to grow, pretty much. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button. Come in the chat, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, give us a 5-star rating, please. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Like I said in the live chat, thumbs up, talk about it. It's really juicy over here. We need you. So being a part of AfterBuzz has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you for supporting us and helping us do what we love. And don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our lovely shows. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, if you're watching our show right now, hop in the live chat. Let us know your thoughts, your comments. Yasmine is kind of keeping an eye on that. Is there anybody that we can say hi to really quickly?
Yes, we've got Ryan Di Gusto, my first chance to join you ladies live.
Welcome. First of all, your
Welcome.
name is sexy.
Yes.
Just to let you know.
And then, of course, we do have Tanya. Hello.
Our forever
Lovely
love.
to see you
Hey,
always.
Tanya.
And the Queen of Regal. Am I saying it right? Regal?
Regal.
Yeah.
Regal sounds better, though.
Love her. I know
saying
Regal
hello
sounds fun.
and awesome episode, which we agree upon.
Oh my gosh, so good. Well, let's continue our chat about the episode. So we see Delilah kind of reach out to the guy that she met at the gas station, which, I mean,
Kind of cute.
hey,
He's
more power to
attractive.
her. I was like, okay.
I mean, he's not like Catherine's boo thing. I mean, Hunter's cuter, but you know.
Hunter's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's true. I mean, Hunter's just sexy.
Yeah. Like he's young man
This guy's
candy,
sexy
I
in a
feel.
different way. He's he is exactly what I would imagine Delilah would be attracted to.
Yes.
That's true.
I don't know. So anyway, she reaches out. We find out that his name is Andrew Pollack. He is a restaurateur. He has his own 4 or 5 different restaurants that he has. And she's like, maybe he can help us. I don't know. Happens to just be this guardian angel man that I think is really lovely that he steps in. And we also learn that he and Delilah have more in common than we think. He lost his wife a few years ago. She recently lost her husband. So immediately there's a bond. There's that sense of trust and that bond there. Do we trust Andrew? Do we trust him yet?
I trust him, but I definitely think I'll say a little bit of predictions, but I would just like to question everyone on the panel and everyone in the live chat comments after. John was a pretty powerful guy. Mm-hmm. Andrew's a pretty powerful guy.
I was going to go that route that Takira's going right now. Yep.
Same city. I mean, at some point, do we think cross paths a little bit? I mean, it's...
So do you think he could have some form of a backstory that's...
I think everyone. I think
Like-
the cat in the window still has a backstory. I mean, that's just who I am. But yeah, I do. I do think that the meeting was a coincidence, but I think that he might know a little bit more about her than she thinks.
I think Gary is right for being skeptical of him.
That's what I was going to say. So
Yeah.
do we
Very
think
right.
Gary is spot on for being what did he say? That I don't
good.
trust anything that's too good to be true.
Too good to be
Yeah.
true.
I don't like anything that's too good to be true.
So,
Which is natural for you to
Yeah.
question things like, okay, this is too perfect. What's wrong?
yeah,
type of thing.
And he kind of did step in and was like, "Oh, let me solve all of your problems." You know?
And he was
He
fixing
did.
them.
Bartenders, the liquor license, the what else?
The tablecloth. The
Tablecloth.
certificate of occupancy. I mean,
There we go. Yeah. Tables, tablecloths, flowers, everything.
He's just very into her.
All right, honey.
And what else do you need,
You
too?
fix it.
So you, Yasmine, you think that he's just into Delilah and just
I
trying
mean,
to be helpful?
clearly there's something. I feel like there's something off. I don't know what it is, but, I think she should just take it.
I mean,
Just,
But with caution. Proceed with caution.
he wasn't afraid of the baby bump.
No. I mean, I think that was
'Cause he
endearing,
probably
though,
already
because
knew about
initially
it.
she had the ring, then he saw the bump, and he was like, oh, I'll make a table for 3, and he didn't know. Yeah, I mean, he didn't.
story.
He probably
we
knows
don't
more
know
than
if he
Ashley.
did know, if we're speculating now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hope he's a good guy, but
Watch him be
There's
the
always a
mastermind
twist.
of all of this. Like, mastermind of just, like, the why of John, why of everything. He knows more than Ashley type of thing. I don't know. Am I stretching too much?
Imagination. She's reaching.
I am. Am I reaching? I'm sorry.
He's like the Rutledge of the situation now. Right?
See? Wait. Okay.
Okay, look, y'all are getting into predictions.
I know.
We'll save it
Laura
for
said
later.
it. I'm saying. Too good to be true,
maybe.
Gary. You're spot
Y'all in the
on.
live chat, drop whatever you think. We'll save it for.
Yeah. Do we trust Andrew? Do we think that Gary is right to be skeptical of him? Who do we really think this Andrew guy is? I love that we've gotten to the point of the show where like every little thing that happens, we're like, ooh, who is that really? Ooh, what does that really mean? Oh my goodness! Like
Yeah.
I
I think everything means everything.
the
so.
little girl that Regina sees at the end of when she comes
the hospital.
out.
As soon as I saw the girl in the hospital, I was like, she's not there anymore. She disappeared. And then we saw her again. I was like, I was right.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Let's talk about Miss Regina's story tonight. So finally we get to peel back the layers a little bit on her and learn why she's had such a troubled past with her mother. We've sensed this sort of tension from the beginning with her and her mom, and we knew that there was something there. It obviously became much more real tonight for us as an audience member. So Regina's opening her restaurant, obviously, and has reached out previously to have her mother come and be an investor. Her mother is involved. She then sees that she gets an email from her uncle, Neal, who is not doing well. Glad everything that worked out. Why did he have my address? Long story short, we learned that Regina has been a victim of child molestation, which... I think for me, the most heartbreaking part of this entire episode was watching her go through the years and years of shame and guilt, and still holding on to that as she's even telling admitting the story for the first time. She even said, "I've never told anyone this story." But the years of holding on to, I did this. It's not like, she even said, one of the quotes, "It's not like he raped me."
Yeah.
Just the amount of shame that she still was holding on to. What did you guys think about that moment, and also how Rome and Maggie responded to it?
Okay, go ahead.
I love that. You hear. I do want to take a second to read the definition of molestation via Google, because it's so strange, because my husband and I were having a conversation. We're thinking about like nonprofit stepping into a particular project, and I was so upset when I read this definition. So it's so weird that a week later we're talking about it. But there's 2 definitions. So real quick, I'll read the one that was what they seem to be old school. So it's been recently changed because, over time we do that, I guess. So the old school was, it's a dated definition that says pester or harass someone in an aggressive or persistent manner. So pester or harass in an aggressive manner. The new definition, which is dated more recently, says assault or abuse to a person, especially, and then in parentheses it says, especially a woman or child, sexually. And to me, I'm thinking, why add the woman or child? I get that it's more common, so that didn't really sit well with me. It didn't include, it's not just a woman or child thing. But I did want to take a second to read that, because I think for Regina, this was such a highlight moment that a lot of people still, like Maggie was like, no, that's sexual assault. You were molested. She was like, well, I was flirting. I took off my shirt. He did not take it off for me. And so that confusion, I hope that there's a lot of people watching the show to say, okay, was I that might be questioning, and that they're holding on to something like a chip on their shoulder, and they can't really define it, because I think once you define it, that's when you can move on, or you can start the healing process. So that's what I loved about that moment. Obviously, the character, I hated to watch that, as we all did. But I love that the writers used that as a moment, because there's people watching, and even for me, there's people watching like, wow, she was flirting. Like, what do you do? Like, you know what I mean? And it's that's still under definition as molestation. So
she said, she even said, I needed to feel beautiful. You know, he was just, I needed to feel beautiful. I was, I let this happen to me.
Yeah.
And the issue, multiple issues, but the thing that keeps coming back to my mind is her age. Obviously, she's 12 years old, and at 12 years old, you think you're grown up. You think you're so, you think you know so much. You think you are a big kid. You're not being treated like a baby anymore. But that, again, like in hindsight, for us as adults to look back at it and think, oh my God, but you're a baby, you're just a child, versus the responsibility that she took on herself as a 12-year-old. I don't know, Tay, what do you think?
I was going to ask you guys, what do you guys think? I agree with both of you. But what do you guys think Neal would have said to her if he was still alive?
Oh gosh.
I think him being on his deathbed would have said sorry, would have acknowledged it. Maybe that's just maybe me being hopeful.
Yeah.
But I've talked to a lot of young girls. I used to be really heavily active back home in a group, and for the most part, whenever that time comes when you have to address the person that hurt you, for the most part, I'm not gonna say at any point, they say something. So I think him being on his deathbed, I would have liked to think that he would have at least acknowledged it.
Just like Regina said, she would have felt, she feels cheated because Neal passed before, hours before she got there. I would honestly I wouldn't feel satisfied in life knowing I didn't get any type of closure with that, because that is a heavy burden to have. And she was thinking in her 12-year-old mind all throughout. I don't know how old she is now, but like she was, even her saying it to Rome and Maggie, it's like she was still talking like a 12-year-old, which is really like scary to me. So I understand her when she says, like, she feels cheated, because I don't know. That would be really heavy for me for the rest of my life.
Do you think she'll use her mother as her closure, though?
Yes.
Yes. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Well, and I think that Maggie gave the best advice she's ever given on this show as a therapist and a friend tonight, when she said, hearing your truth would mean that she would have to face her own, if indeed he did potentially do this to her as well. There's oftentimes, we think maybe we're the only person who's been affected by something like this. And then when we find that another person that we love, it just seemed to explain so much of their
character,
their tension.
Did we get confirmation of that? Or we just say, she was just crying and breaking down the mom when Regina told her that he actually passed. Not like, Neal actually did this to my mom too.
I feel like we can see from her emotion, her expression of emotion, that something did go down, yes.
And not that all of that has to come out in a conversation today or in this particular episode, but the fact that Maggie was able to let Regina see, hey, you know, your pain. There is a reason why she may not have been able to be there for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she was like, this does not excuse anything. This does not give her a reason to
act the way that she did and ignore you.
Yeah. I mean, really, truly, but also take into consideration that perhaps you are not the only person who was a victim of.
I thought that was
this
very
man.
smart of Maggie to have broken it down in that sense, because it's true, like sometimes we don't really realize or can empathize with a person's reaction because we don't know where they're coming from. We really don't know what they've been through or what they're all about and why they're reacting that way. And I feel like Regina, watching her, the way that she broke down in this episode and basically took that coat off, as we would say, is fascinating because of the years that she had been holding it inside, as you say. And I think the way that she had handled it in her mind to not make it a reality by not talking about it and putting it on herself is the way that she was able to actually go on. I think it's very strong. And now that she's acknowledging it, I wonder how her healing process is going to begin, though, because at that stage of her life, yes, she's a grown woman, but that's still something that's like very much buried into her system. And I'm curious to see how that develops, as well as Rome then being back on antidepressants. I think he needs to feel like he needs to be there for her and strong.
Speaking of Rome, Brooks AG in the chat, hey, brought up a really good point. Were any of you surprised that Rome wasn't more upset than what he showed?
No,
So delicate.
Because as a man, I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brooks, but I'm assuming like as a man, maybe the reaction is most commonly anger, like where the hell is this guy at? But I don't know if maybe he was trying to himself be a little on the downplay of that, a little softer. But
Yeah.
I know some of the men in my family, they would have been.
They wouldn't have went flow up the handle.
But, oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
great. Let me go break his legs.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Where is he at again? Oh, what room? Oh, okay, cool.
Great.
All right. Yeah. All right. Cool.
I'll pull the plug myself.
Yeah.
No, truly, and that's a fair point. I mean, that's a really good question, Brooks. I don't. For me personally, I think that we only have a certain amount of time in the episode. You know,
that's true.
And I think that the choice to stay on Regina's story instead of Rome, kind of making it about
Revenge.
Rome's emotions.
That's true.
In this particular episode, I think made sense. I think we are going to see more of Rome's anger come out. You know,
Really?
Yeah.
I do.
I see that coming.
Yeah.
It'll hit later.
I mean, I think he took the high road. I think they chose to use that moment as, okay, let's take the high road because it's easy just to get upset, right? Like that's the easy path. We all know that as adults.
Yeah.
That's the easy one. It's not the smart one. I think maybe they took that opportunity to say, okay, this is what's going to be the turning point to get Rome back on his antidepressants. So
And it's admirable,
good
I
point.
think, that he didn't get so angry. He was like, okay, I don't know how to maneuver this either, so let me just ask, what can I do?
Right.
yeah,
And
I don't
then-
care about Neal. I care about you.
Yeah,
So-
and then he's like driving her there and letting her take the reins on this. It's
This
like
is you.
her situation
Right.
that she needs to deal with in her own way. Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. I personally love his reaction.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, my family would probably do the same
Yeah.
thing as yours.
I think a lot of
To be honest, let's just be like in reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here with her?
Oh,
and her
I'm
mom?
sorry. And that was Ryan who asked the question. My apologies, Ryan.
Sorry, Ryan.
Disgusto.
Gusto.
Great. Great question.
Restaurante.
So where do we go from here with her and her mother? What do you think?
Just chapter 1, starting over.
Baby
I guess.
steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Do we
Patches.
see because obviously now she's returning all of the money that her uncle donated. Does her mom stay involved
She's
in the
donating
restaurant?
it.
She's donating it to, yeah.
Donate it to a women's shelter is what
women's
she's
shelter.
decided. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say returning.
That's a really good way to invest, like to take that pain
love
and
that.
you take your pain and you help someone else. I mean, that's beautiful. That's a perfect way to do
She
it.
handles life so well.
She's so strong. Like,
I know. This is why she's my favorite. I love her
dang
so
it,
much.
Christina, your character is
Christina
so
Moses.
beautiful.
I was gonna say too, just as an actor, this what a beautiful moment for her in this episode. She really got to show her chops this episode.
Yeah. Go, girl.
I don't know, Christina
Touche.
Moses.
Yeah.
Snaps for Christina
That's for
Moses.
Christina.
Guys, let's jump into our special segment. Our hashtag Little Things ABTV. This is just the little thing that we took from the episode that is still sitting with us as we jump into our conversation that might be food for thought for the rest of the week.
Pun intended.
Yeah, it's like a little
That was like a Tinkerbell, right? That's what I was thinking. That's cute.
I love it. Yasmine, do you want to kick us off?
Well, I guess it's something that has been said before, but John's quote, "You can someday yourself out of life," and it's just comes to show what we've seen throughout with Regina and everybody in this story. Just go for it. At this present time, you're living, you're breathing, whatever you need or need to say, do it. Don't
Preach.
hold back.
Yeah, girl.
All right.
Mine is I'm just kidding. Learning how to cope with things that are out of your control and fixing the things that you can.
Ooh.
I know. I think that was the best one I've ever thought of. Let me say it one more time, just in case. Learning how to cope with things that are out of your control and fixing the things that you can.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Now.
I like it.
I really like that. I will say my hashtag ABTV little things is just the opportunity of self-reflection and self-truth. So I really like that Regina took her moment to tell her truth and to heal. So I think taking the first step it's so cliche, but the first step is always the hardest. I know that a lot of people say that, but it really is. And I feel like more people need to just take that first step because there's beautiful people on the other side to take you to bring you back on over, to help you continue the process. So that's my little thing.
I love that. I think that's great. I think for me, mine was just the sense of community and what that means for, I think a lot of the time we I'm going to say as women, but just in general, I think people going through this life, I think a lot of the times we feel like we have to shoulder the burden of life on our own and not ask for help or think that perhaps we won't be understood if we share our story or we'll be shut down. And I think we saw tonight a real sense of community from each of the friends. And that's really what I love that the writers are doing, have done throughout this first season of this show. They made us fall in love with these characters from the very beginning. And
Hard.
Yeah, really
Had
hard.
tissue on the first day.
Come on.
We had tissue in the
we've had
studio.
moments of not liking some of them sometimes, but
I went deep into Maggie.
But they made us invested in these characters from day one, and now they are now they're really diving into what makes each person tick, and I love that. I love that nothing feels blanketed by this show. So if you have a favorite thing that you took away from the episode tonight, please let us know. Shout us out in the comments. I think we have a couple. Anybody?
Well, Brooks has a hashtag ABTV little things, which is if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Don't trust Andrew.
Yeah. Don't trust Andrew.
I like it. Fresh start comes to mind too. Fresh start was another thing that
Start.
a fresh start. Yeah, a lot of them took fresh starts this episode.
True.
Fresh start. Oh my goodness.
Cleaning the slate.
All right, let's what about some predictions?
Woo!
My favorite part.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
It's gonna give me a seizure one day. It really is.
It is true. It's
Scroll on over to.
Do you want to kick us off?
Oh no, someone else can.
Oh, who wants to go first?
getting
Mine might be too heavy. You might want to save me for last.
Okay, well, I'm just totally confused still about who Barbara Morgan is. I'm guessing, I don't know. Who is this woman at the house? What's her name? She didn't say her name, did she?
No, like we know
I'm
the
just
guy's
wondering
name.
if it is her. Because there was a painting behind her
Right.
that said B. Morgan.
Yeah, but remember she at the end there was like an envelope addressed to Barbara Morgan and she was slipping a SIM
did
card
we
into it.
see the address?
Oh.
I felt like it was that. I'm not sure that I'm
Right.
yeah.
You know, I'm normally
So-
like freeze it, take pictures,
Yeah.
and all kind of stuff. I did not that moment, but we know Mitch is the older gentleman in the house because she was like, Mitch, he's gone.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Patrick
is the
her son.
Oh yeah.
So,
Is I don't know.
and we know that there's only two places that these paintings are. John bought them, and then whoever painted them.
True.
So how does she have one? Did she paint it?
Do you think DJ Nash just sits back at night and is like, "Mwahaha."
Like he's literally enjoying all of it.
Of course.
Literally.
He just enjoys watching our minds like go like this the entire time. I really do. I think it's so funny.
You guys said it last time that he kept it from even the cast. So I mean, like since day one.
Yeah, so that's very
Since day
confusing.
one.
I just want to add quickly that I do think Delilah and Andrew Pollock is going to happen. Something's going to happen there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Even
So
with the
that's
baby bump.
Yeah.
Intense.
He's, going to take
You
them
think
on.
Eddie's gonna let that happen?
I feel like Eddie has to move on.
Eddie
I
has
don't-
no choice with anybody at
he
this point.
can't.
So you don't
They're
think
not.
they'll...
The thing is, if Delilah and Eddie would happen, they would have already happened because the cat's already out of the bag. It's been out of the bag for a while. And okay, given circumstances with Catherine, they're still going through the whole process of divorce and stuff. It's been a obviously step-by-step thing, but like it could have still happened, you know? And I think none of them would have accepted it. And I feel like it's interesting that they're not going for each other, even though they loved each other so much, but they're almost like, this is really wrong. Like, even with the kids involved, they kept that a secret from the get-go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Conspiracy theories. I
Ah,
can't take it.
yes.
Because all this is
Wrong
right
into
now.
that, sorry.
What you got, Tay?
I don't know where to start. Okay, those people, what are their names again? The ones, who we think you think is Barbara Morgan in the house.
Mitch and Patrick.
Oh, Mitch
Okay.
and Patrick.
I think they are protecting Barbara Morgan for financial reasons, like somehow. I don't know why.
Okay.
Maybe
because
like
she's the beneficiary.
yeah, because she's a beneficiary,
he,
and they would get
at
a
this point.
cut. Yeah, see, I don't know.
We don't know if it's a
we
male or
don't
female.
know. Oh my god. Okay. I think Andrew knew John, and he is a part of the whole like planning before he died.
Okay.
And okay. Disclosure. This one is not. This is for storyline purposes, and not what I hope to happen.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Go for it.
Maggie isn't gonna make it.
Oh no!
I can't believe you spoke that. I think that's
Wait.
I agree with you.
I said for storyline purposes.
Yeah.
Disclosure. Okay. Oh, don't give me that look.
No, I just
because I
haven't
don't want it
thought
to
about
happen
Maggie
either.
not being there, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It makes me feel
Well, sad.
She's big, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a big.
Sorry,
big
guys. I
loss.
told you mine was heavy.
We're like, Mom.
I know. Wah wah.
Takira, bring us back up or something.
Okay, bringing us back up. I think this is too easy, but I'm just gonna say it because there's people out there I know that probably agree. John was having a second life. Barbara Morgan is the other woman. Maybe Patrick's the son. So that's too easy for me.
I know. I was gonna
But,
say that's
I'm still gonna hold that. I'm still gonna hold it.
I will hold it. I did put in here that maybe Barbara Morgan is a family member of his, not his mom, because I couldn't remember if we knew where John's mom was or if she passed away. And then the writers intentionally, I think what would lead into the whole he had a second life thing is that the writers intentionally had a little boy say "mom," and that's not like. That's not just a coincidence. Like, the writers intentionally had someone from another
Look
room.
at Takira
yell,
picking
"Mom."
at everything.
So,
if there's a scarf
it's
on the
true.
floor, she's gonna.
You know.
But even
That's
DJ
it.
Nash even just said, in a couple of episodes ago when they went to the apartment, when they found the apartment, keep an eye out in the apartment. There's clues everywhere
Exactly.
about who who Barbara Morgan is. So
Exactly.
and as we've learned, there is nothing that these writers do that is not
it's not intentional.
super
Everything's
specific.
intentional. That's why I love it.
I know. That's why it's brilliant.
And we
It's
got a
brilliant.
second season.
Season 2.
I know. So
Can't
there's
wait.
what, 2 episodes?
Three.
Left.
Three more.
episodes. Yes, 3
Predictions
episodes.
for
until that.
you. We're getting ahead of the good news. What's predictions for you?
Oh, for me, yes. For me, I tend to think that I think this baby is going to bring Eddie and Delilah back together.
Wow.
I do. I'm sticking to that one.
How do you
some
think
way.
her kids will feel about that?
I don't know.
Especially Sophie.
Probably not happy.
That's going to be a whole
Catherine.
problem.
I feel like it's got to come out at some point that it's Eddie's baby.
Because they'll look like Eddie.
It's going to like come out and be little Eddie and it's going to be like, huh, you look like Eddie and not John. Although dark hair.
Dark hair,
whatever,
yeah, I was about to
features,
say.
I guess that'd be easy. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, well.
I mean, if it comes out looking like Rome, we have an issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, gee,
Don't
no.
hit that curveball at us.
No, I'm kidding. But I think that's, for me, I think that's what I think they're going to end up back together at some point. Maybe.
Right, well.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Interesting.
So we got 3 episodes to find out. 3 episodes until the end of this season. So join us every Wednesday night because we will be here to talk all about it. In the meantime, keep the conversation going, guys, in that live chat, in the comments. Leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. And the conversation on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us each there. I'm Laura L. Thomas. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Laura L. Thomas TV.
Yeah, you can find me, Takira Shabrae, at Takira_Shabrae on Instagram and Twitter and in the comments. I do love to read them, so see me there.
And you can find me everywhere. Taya Alexandria at Taya Alexandria TV.
And I'm Yasmine Tanres. You can also find me on all social media at Yasmine Tanres and my website, yasminetanres.com.
Perfect. We will see you guys next Wednesday, same time, same place. Have a great week. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The host is the host only, not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.